I don't know how. YouTube was acting weird. So hopefully we are back in business. Tell you what, take a week off and everything goes crazy on you. All right. Let's see what we got here so I can see what you guys are seeing. Let's see what is visible. Okay. Looks like everything is visible on, from what I'm seeing, looks like everything is covered. The score sheet, the dice tray, everything looks like it's all right. Let's do the focus here. Tabby is downstairs. She didn't like it because we gave her some furball medicine and she just didn't like the taste of it and got kind of mad. So she's kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, just downstairs and didn't feel like coming up here. She may scratch on the door later. If she does, I'll let her in. But anyway, she's not here. So we're going to, sulking, that's the word for it. Thank you. Yes, that's a good word for it, sulking. All right, so this is the American League Championship Series. And since this was the real ALCS, I am using the real lineups, the real starting lineups, the real benches, real bullpens, all that stuff for the Oakland Baltimore series. Now, the National League is going to be Pittsburgh and San Francisco. And so that's going to, I'm going to have to make up my own lineups on that one. And game one of that series will be next video. I'll probably be tomorrow, I imagine. Hello, Doug. And it's Ron Bryant for the Giants, a left-hander against Nelson Briles for the Pirates. That'll be game one. And then once I get both game ones out of the way, then I may go back and do the next game in the 1987 American League replay. And I'll try to mix and match it, as best I can. In this one, Baltimore emptied all their right-handers with the lefty Vida Blue on the mound. And I was listening to the actual radio broadcast of Game 1 is on YouTube. And Boog Powell had shoulder problems. He does play in the series, but against the lefty, Earl Weaver decided to put him on the bench. So Earl Williams is playing first base in his stead. But all these guys are right-handed. The Oakland A's are without Bill North. He was injured. So Angel Mangual will have to take over in that position. Of course, one of the more famous guys is Mike Andrews for the A's. That's the one that Charlie Finley wanted to fire in the middle of the World Series, and the A's protested to make sure that didn't happen. So he's on the bench, and he's available if needed. He came over from the White Sox. Hello, Brian B. Hello, Thomas. Good to see all you guys. So I think we're ready to go. Like I said, Tabby is downstairs, so we're just going to sally forth without her. Got our Baltimore Oriole colored dice. So hopefully everything is in play now in copacetic. Jim Palmer, 22-9 with a 2.40 ERA. Vida Blue, 29 with a 3.28 ERA. So that's where we're standing right there as far as starting pitchers. Ballpark effects for the Orioles Memorial Stadium. Singles, lefties are 1-12, righties are 1-9. Home runs, lefties 1-7, righties 1-11. Pitcher-catcher quotient. Fosse is a -3, but Vida Blue is a +2, so that's a -1. Palmer is a +1, but Etchebarren is a -2, which is also a -1. So -1 on both pitcher-catcher effects as far as trying to get leads to steal. All right, so I think we're ready to go. Bergkamp Benares, the speedster, will lead it off for Oakland. Brian B., yes, they did in real world and in the replay on Strat. They won them both, yes, absolutely. Boston had it for a while, but Baltimore in September just took it over and ran away, not ran away with it, but he had a couple game lead pretty comfortably. All right, so we're ready to go. Jim Palmer against Bergkamp Benares. Let me check the focus one more time. I think it's the best I can get on a live stream because I can't necessarily get the best in the world on a live stream. So we'll push this up here a little bit, make sure the cards show up. And we're ready to go. Game one of the 1973 ALCS. It's a 5-game series. Oakland won the series in real world 3-2. First 2 are in Baltimore. Last 3, if necessary, are in Oakland. We get a 1-8, and Campaneris will ground it to short. Mark Belanger right there to make the play, one away. One down for left fielder Joe Rudy. Of course, if the Orioles and the Pirates win the respective championship series, it'll be a rematch of 71. Any other combination would be not a rematch of anything. 1-8 for Rudy is a strikeout. So Jim Palmer off Oakland's batters cards gets 2 quick outs. And here comes the captain, Sal Bando. One 9, and that is a ground ball to short. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Jim Palmer. All 3 results came off the batter card, and Palmer just took advantage of it. And the A's go quietly in the top of the first. Bottom of the first we go, and here's Vida Blue, left-hander, on the mound facing Merv Retman, the right fielder in this game. That's a 6-10 against a right-handed hitter. That's a split chance on that triangle. 1-5 is a single. Anything else he lines to short, that's a 7. So he's going to line it to Bert Campaneris. And there's one away. For Bobby Grich, certainly in the Hall of Very Good is Bobby Grich. You could argue Hall of Fame, but I think he might be a little bit short on that. But he's certainly a solid player, no doubt. 4-10 against a right-handed hitter is a fly to center. Hauled in by Mangual, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up the speedster, Paul Blair. Get a 5-10. So all 3 results coming off the pitcher card here, whereas it came off the batter cards in the top of the first. 5-10 is a ballpark single check. Blair's a righty. Ballpark singles are 1-9. That's an 8. It'll be a single for Paul Blair. And he will be looking to get the lead, perhaps. So let's take a look at the factors. It's a -1 overall. So if he gets the lead, it would be a 1-13. He needs a 3 through 6 to get the lead. So they'll go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, Suedice, that won't help. It's a 10, so he doesn't get the lead, so it doesn't really matter. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Tommy Davis. 1-6 against the lefty is a ground ball to short, and Campaneris will go the short way, flipping to Dick Green for the fielder's choice. So nothing doing there. With the O's, we played 1. It's no score from Memorial Stadium. Dick Williams trying to match wits with Earl Weaver. Palmer back on the mound. His fatigue is an 8, and Vida Blues is a 7, so we could see some. If they're effective, we could see a complete game from both of them, actually. And here's Reginald Martinez Jackson. And I always thought it was interesting. They gave him a -5 arm rating, which I thought was really, let's bring it up here so you can see it better. He's got a -5 on his arm rating, which I thought was a little bit generous, but maybe he had a good arm. I don't know. They gave him a -5, so Strat with their 1,200 hours of box score research or whatever, and you know they can't be wrong. 4-7, Palmer against the lefty is a strikeout. So Reggie goes down on strikes. 1 away. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, Darren Johnson. He can really hit lefties. That column 1 is pretty juicy. But he's facing a righty. So 6-7 against the right-hander. Ground ball, second base X. Our first X chance of the game. It is Bobby Grich. And Bobby Grich is a 2E5. So a 2E5 for Bobby Grich. So as a 2, he just needs a 3 or more, 3 or higher to get to this, and he does. It's a G1. And as an E5, he's got to avoid 16 and 18. And he does that as well. So nice play for Bobby Grich. 2 down. And that'll bring up 72 World Series hero Gene Tennis. Hello, Anthony. How you doing? Palmer, 2-8 to Tennis is a fly to right field. And so Palmer 6 up and 6 down here through 2 innings. And the A's go quietly. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. And it'll be Don Baylor, a very young Don Baylor, left fielder, will lead things off. For the O's, it's a 3-10 against a left-hander, and that's a foul out to the catcher, Ray Fosse for 1 away. Here's the venerable Brooks Robinson. 1-7, and that's a ground ball to Campaneris. So 2 up and 2 down for first baseman Earl Williams. In there for Boog Powell, they set him against a lefty, plus Powell was having shoulder problems at this time of the year. He will play against the righties, though. 6-11, lefty on righty. 6-11 is a fly ball right field X. That's Reggie Jackson. He's a 2-E11. A 2-E11, so as a 2, he just needs to have a 4 or higher. And he does, so that's a good play there. He'll get to it, but make sure he doesn't make an error. E11, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. And 10 is just fine. Actually, 11, that's just fine. So good play for Reggie. 3 up and 3 down go the O's. And we play 2 innings, no score from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Kind of expect a pitcher's duel when you've got these 2 aces on the mound. Oakland had 3 20-game winners in 1973. And the Orioles pitching staff was no slouch either. Hello, Forrest. How you doing? Ben, good to see you. All right. Here is... Hello, Brandon. Good to see you as well. Here is Angel Mangual. That's a 3-9, and he's going to strike out. So Mangual, let's take it down here. Mangual with the K, 1 away, and here comes Ray Fosse. Career was never the same after Pete Rose bulldozed him in the All-Star game. 5-5, and that's an in-home run chance. He does have normal power. It's 1-6. That is a 6. That is gone. Now, I didn't declare if I was going to do robbing the home runs or not. I didn't do it during the regular season, so I don't see why I would do it now. But this is one of the times where you could rob the home run on a 1-6. But we'll dispense with that and let Ray Fosse have his home run because I didn't do it all year, so there's no sense doing it now. So home run for Ray Fosse. Look at it again. 5-5 is a 1-6. And he does have end power, and that is a 6. So there it is. Home run, Ray Fosse. Palmer not liking it. Hello, Al. How are you doing? Palmer not happy about the not robbing the home run rule, but he was susceptible to the gopher ball once in a while. 1-7 for Dick Green. He's going to ground it to short. Belanger takes care of it. 2 down. We flip the order over now to Bert Campaneris. Palmer to Campaneris, 5-9, struck him out. So the A's get the run on the Ray Fosse homer. And we go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Oakland. And Vida Blue is in charge of protecting that 1-0 lead. Going to be facing bottom of the order, Etchebarren, Belanger, and then Retman. Blue, 4-9 to a right-handed hitter. 1-5 is a single. That is a 5. So Etchebarren ekes out a single. He will not be held. He does not run well at all. Belanger is an A bunter. So we are looking now at having Belanger bunt. The corners have come in. So it becomes a B bunter. So I'm going to see where the bunt goes. The bunt goes to the third baseman, the captain, Sal Bando, and now we're going to see what happens on the bunt. He's a B bunter. Pretty much got to avoid anything under 10 is going to be a good play, most likely. That's a 7. That's a sacrifice that works out just fine. So it's going to be a 5-4 sacrifice hit for Belanger. So he gets the job done. Puts a runner in scoring position for Merv Retman. Blue to Retman, 5-5, and that's a strikeout. Big strikeout for Vida Blue. And now a clutch situation for Bobby Grich. And he does lose a clutch single on a 3-4 against the left-handers. And he also loses it on a 1-8. So 2 possibilities of losing a hit on a clutch. Blue to Grich. It's a 4-5, and that's a ground ball to short. Campaneris is there, and that's going to do it. 3 innings in the books, and it's 1-0 Oakland. So the Orioles try to play a little small ball, but did not work out. A strikeout and a ground out to short took care of that. And we go to the fourth. And Joe Rudy will lead things off. Rudy struck out his first time up against Palmer, 5-7, and he's going to strike out again. So Rudy out on strikes for Palmer now. That is strikeout number 5. He's got the strikeout pitch working. Just made the one mistake to Fosse, and that was it. 5-11. That's a fly ball right field X. That is Retman. He's a 2E8. 2E8. So as a 2 outfielder, 2 in the outfield, he just needs a 4 or higher to get to this, and he does. And as an E8, he's got to avoid 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. Well, that's a 14, and that's going to be an error. No, I'm sorry, it's not going to be an error. My bad. Every number except a 14 is an error. E8 there, it's a 3, 15, 16, 17, and 18, but that's a 14, so he did not quite make that jump there, and it is going to be a nice play for Merv Retman. Tough catch, but he made it. 15 through 18 would have been an error, but he found a 14, so it helped him out. And here comes Sal Bando. Or, I'm sorry, that was Sal Bando. Here comes Reggie Jackson. Struck out. Hello, Kenyon. How you doing? Struck out his first time up. 5-9 against a lefty as they fly to left field. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Palmer. So we go to the bottom of the fourth, still 1-0. As this game motors along at a pretty good clip with these good pitchers. Probably just jinxed it, but that's what we got right now. All right, here is Vida Blue to Paul Blair, who singled his first time up. 5-8, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else would be a single, so Paul Blair singles again. See if he can get the jump. He couldn't get the jump last time. He's going to try it again. 3 through 6 gets him the jump. 7, he cannot get the jump, so he's got to stand pat. Here's DH Tommy Davis. 1-7 for Davis. That's a ground ball to short. It's an A, so it's a 6-4-3 double play. There's a plus sign there, but it only comes into play in advanced, not super advanced. So shortstop was not responsible for holding the runner, and it's not an X chance, so it's easy 6-4-3 double play. Here's Don Baylor. 1-2. That's a hit by pitch plus injury. And remember, Don Baylor famous for being hit by pitch. Now we're going to check an injury, because I am doing game injuries only, not the series injuries, but game injuries. So 1-4, he can stay in the game. Anything else has got to come out. So Baylor will have to leave the game. So the Orioles will have to go to their bench for a left fielder. Everybody on the bench is left-handed. So let's see who they might want to go to. They're going to go to Al Bumbry. He will take over in left field for the injured Baylor. So Bumbry will now be on for Baylor. It's actually a better defender. Oh, not really. I should take that back. He's a worse defender, but he's got better speed. Well, actually, his speed's the same. So he's a 4 with a +2 and an E6. So he will take over at first base, and he's going to try to get the lead. See if he can get himself into scoring position. 2 through 6 or an 11. Will get him the lead. That's an 8. He does not get the lead. So he will have to hold, and Brooks Robinson is your batter. 6-4. That's a ground ball, shortstop X. Shortstop is not responsible for holding the runner with a right-handed batter, so Campaneris will keep his full 2E26 results. And as a 2, he just needs a 3 or higher to get to this. And he does. It's a 9, so it's technically a G2. It would be a fielder's choice. He's an E26. He's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. And that is a 12, so he did not avoid the error. Let's look at it up close. Campaneris, he's an E26 right here. 12 is right smack dab in the E1. So that's going to be a one-base error. One base error on Campaneris to keep the inning going. And Vida Blue not happy about that, but makes the a bungle of a play, keeps the inning going now for Earl Williams. See if the Orioles can cash in on the mistake. 5-6, and they cannot. That's a strikeout. So Vida Blue picks up his teammate, strikes out Williams to get out of the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 error and 2 left. So at the end of 4, it's still 1-0 favor of the A's. The Ray Fosse home run has stood the test of time to this point. And Darren Johnson will lead it off for the A's. 3-7, and that is a strikeout. Palmer with strikeout number 6. That brings up Gene Tennis. 3-5, that's another strikeout. Strikeout number 7. And here's Angel Mangual. 6-4, that's a ground ball shortstop X. Belanger's a 1E26. With nobody on base, you don't need to worry about the 1 because you know he's going to get to it. We're just worried about the E26, and he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. Same thing that Campaneris has to avoid. And this time he does, so Belanger not falling to the same error that Campaneris did, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Palmer. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. Pitching duel, which is to be expected. It'll be Echeverren, Belanger, and Retman due up in the bottom of the 5th for the Orioles rather. 3-5, left-handed, struck him out. Echeverren out on strikes. Brings up Belanger, his first time to hit. He bunted his first time up. This is his first legitimate at bat. 6-3 is a fly ball left field X. That's Joe Rudy. He's a 2E7. 2E7, 2 and a 15. He'll get to it. E7, he's got to avoid 6, 15, 16, and 18. And he does. So Joe Rudy makes the play. 2 down for Merv Retman. Retman's 0 for 2. 4-6. He's going to strike out, and now he's 0 for 3. 1-2-3 inning for Vida Blue. At the end of 5, it's still 1-0 Oakland. The Ray Fosse home run is still held up. And speaking of Fosse, he will lead off the inning here in the top of the 6th. Four, 5, and that is a ground ball to Brooks Robinson, and that's pretty much going to be an automatic out, 1 away. For Dick Green. 4-6, and that's a fly to right field. Retman puts it away, 2 down. Back to Campaneris, he's 0 for 2. 1-8 for Campy. He's going to ground to short. Belanger is there. He's now 0 for 3. And it's another 1-2-3 inning. The only hit in the game for the A's was the home run from Fosse. They've had no base runners otherwise. So Palmer would be pitching a complete game without that home run. But the home run is there. You can't take it away. All right, here's Bobby Grich to lead off the bottom of the 6th. He's 0 for 2. 1-4, and against a left-hander, that's a leadoff walk. So Bobby Grich with the leadoff walk. Let me do something here real quick. I want to do one thing. See if I can't fix this a little bit. The leadoff walk for Grich. He will be held. Let's see if he wants to try to get the lead. That's the question. Does he try to get the lead? Because that could be, it would be a 1-12. So they're going to try to see if he can get the lead. 2 through 6 or a 12 gets him the lead. 2 through 6 or a 12 will get him the lead. And a 5 gets him the lead. So he's a 15. Let's look at Grich. He's a 15. Being held makes him a 14. And then pitcher-catcher interface is a -1, makes him a 13. I'm sorry, makes him a 12. So 1-12, and Bobby Grich will steal second base. And he does. And it's a possible throwing error on Fosse. So the stolen base is good. Fosse's T rating is a 10. So 1 to 10, and we got a throwaway. We do. So Fosse throws it away into center field, and that puts Grich at third base with nobody out. So the Orioles being aggressive, and it pays off. And now the Oakland infield will have to come in. They will have to come in. Make sure I didn't mess something up here. I don't think I did. Infield will have to come in on that throwing error. As Paul Blair is now your batter. Blue, 2-9 to a left-hander. That's bad news. 1 to 2 is a triple. 3 to 20 is a double. It'll be a double for Paul Blair. So that run's going to end up being earned because at second base with the stolen base, he would have scored on the double anyway. So we got a tie game at 1 apiece. Paul Blair will be held at second base. He runs very well, so he will be held. So second baseman Dick Green is responsible for holding him. And that brings up DH Tommy Davis. Blue, 3-4 to Tommy Davis. That's trouble. 1 to 7 is a home run. That's a 12. It's another double. And all of a sudden, the third time through the order, they're getting Vida Blue. And the Orioles now lead it 2-1. 2-1. Davis will not be held at second. He only runs at a 9. So he will not be held at second. Brings up Al Bumbry. He's his first at bat since coming in for the injured Baylor. 4-12, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. He's a 4, E0. So we know he won't make an error, but he's got to get to it. And he's a 4. So as a 4, he needs a 5 or better to get to this. That's a 19, which is a G1, and a runner at second. A G1 with a runner at second says right, which means under the right category. If the ball is hit to the shortstop, pitcher, or catcher, C, decide. But Davis doesn't run well, so he's already in scoring position with nobody out, so they're just going to hold him there. And Blue makes the play. 1 away. No sense making a risk there that's unnecessary. Here's Brooks Robinson. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1 to 9, but that's a 17, so he's going to line it to short for out number 2. And now a clutch situation for Earl Williams. Orioles lead at 2-1. They're looking to add more. Williams, 0 for 2 in the game. Whoop, that orange die did not go through. It missed the target. So let me see what happened to it. Stuck to my finger, I think. So we're going to re-roll everything because that just didn't work. With all the rain we've had here, it's very, very humid. So upstairs here, the humidity is really bad because nobody really goes up here but me when I play the game. So otherwise, it just stays up here and the air kind of stays kind of stale. So a little bit on the humid side. I got the AC running, but still going to keep some sweat on my hand if I'm not careful. So we'll try it again. 2-3. 2-3 is a ballpark single check again. That's a 4, so it will be a base hit, but it's only 1 star. So Davis has to stop at third base. So runners are at the corners. That's the 3rd hit of the inning for the Orioles. Now Blue trying to get out of this, facing Echeverren. 3-11 for Echeverren. That's another ballpark single, but that's a 14, so he's going to line it to short to end the inning. But the Orioles pick up 2 runs. They do it on 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 left. So we go to the 7th, and the Orioles now find themselves ahead 2-1, and they've turned that lead over to Jim Palmer. And Palmer has been in control the whole game except for that 1 mistake pitch. He's been dominant. So top of the 7th we go. Rudy is 0 for 2. He struck out twice. 3-6, and he's going to strike out again. He's got the hat trick. So Joe Rudy having a rough time with Jim Palmer. And for Palmer, that is strikeout number 8. Here's Bando, 6-10. That's a ground ball to third base X. That's the vacuum cleaner. Robinson, he's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. E16 is the only issue. And on an E16, Robinson will need to avoid 3, 4, 7, 14, 16, and 18. And that is an 11, so that's a good play. Brooks Robinson takes care of things. 2 down. And it's going to send up Reginald Martinez Jackson. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Three, 7, and he's going to strike out again. That is strikeout number 9 for Jim Palmer. And we go to the 7th inning stretch. It is a 2-1 ball game. 2-1 ball game. It's gone along pretty quickly. According to what I'm looking at, we've only been streaming about 20-something minutes. Actually, it's more like a half hour, I guess. But that's still pretty good to get to the 7th inning stretch. This is the fatigue inning for Vita Blue, so the bullpen is active. They do have right-hander Horacio Pena and left-hander Darrell Knowles. Both of those are in the bullpen for the A's in case they are needed. But Vita Blue trying to shake off that rough 6th inning. And Belanger will lead it off. I'm not even going to worry about stretching because I'm feeling pretty good, so we're going to keep going. No music, no pomp and circumstance, just baseball. Blue to Belanger, 2-5, and that's a ground ball to second. Dick Green makes the play. 1 away, and back to the top of the order for Retman, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 4-6, and that's another strikeout, so he's got the hat trick. And for Vita Blue, that is strikeout, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got him for 5 strikeouts, not that many. Here's Bobby Grich. He started the whole mess with a walk last inning. 1-8, and that's a single for Bobby Grich. Keeps the inning going. And he tried to he stole the base and caused all that confusion with the throwing error, so they're going to try to get the jump again. Might as well. 2 through 6, Ori 12. And he gets the jump, but that's a 2. So it's a possibility that we could have a balk on Vita Blue. That's what the rules say in case you're not up to speed on Super Advanced and want to get a bird's eye view of the rule. Go to page 13 in the rule book, 29.2, when runner attempts to steal. If the 20 side dies at 2, there's a possible balk. Refer to the pitcher's balk rating. Pretty simple. Balk rating for Blue is a 3, so this has to be a 3 or less to be a balk. And it is, so Vita Blue balks. How about that? Grich has really caused problems on the base paths. He steals a base, causes a throwing error, and now he causes Vita Blue to balk by jockeying off the base. And he will be held at second base. He runs well, so they will hold him. It's now a clutch situation for Paul Blair. And Blair had an RBI double last time up. He's 3 for 3. First base is open. They could walk Blair and pitch to Tommy Davis. Blair's 280. Tommy Davis, though, is a 306. So I think they're going to go ahead and pitch to Blair and take their chances. Blue 1-3, and that's a ground ball to third. Sal Bando makes the play to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 left. We played 7. It's still 2-1 Orioles. Vita Blue has 1 thing against his point of weakness, so he's still good to go. Palmer now will be facing Johnson, Tennis, and Mangual. Not a whole lot on the bench for the A's. They do have Davalillo. It's a pretty decent hitter, and Jesus Alou, but not any of the powerhouses off the bench like you would expect. Palmer to Johnson, 4-10. That's a fly ball center field X, and that is Mr. Blair. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at the E5, and as a center fielder, and E5, he's got to avoid 4, 16, 17, and 18, which he does. So Paul Blair makes the play. And again, without that home run from Fosse, we'd be looking at a perfect game for Jim Palmer. That's the only blemish. And he has just controlled the A's from start to finish. Here's Tennis, 1-6. And as soon as I say that, Tennis has a 1-13 home run, but that is a 20. It will be a double. So Gene Tennis now, the tying run. He does not run well at all. There's a chance they may use a pinch runner. The A's may go for a pinch runner because he is the tying run. He only runs at an 11. So let's see who's got some speed. Vic Davalio's certainly got some speed. So they're going to pinch run with Vic Davalio. Doesn't hit very well as a 188 hitter, but Davalio will be the pinch runner. And then they will need a new first baseman, which probably will be Bork, I imagine. Probably would be Bork. Darren Johnson plays first, but he's DH. If you move him to first, you lose your DH. So they're looking at most likely Pat Bork. So Pat Bork came over from the Cubs. Only a 209 hitter. Not very good defensively either, but you got to do what you got to do. And right now, Davalio is your pinch runner, and he runs at a 15. So it's not a threat to steal, but he's definitely, can score from second on a base hit as he has a 15. So the Orioles will hold him on to try to cut down that lead at second base. All right, so Palmer facing Mangual. Now, do they pinch hit for Mangual? He's a 224 hitter. But the question is, do you have anybody on the bench any better? Jesus Alou is a 306. So they're going to go to the bench again. They're going to use Jesus Alou to pinch hit for Mangual. And then in center field, let's see what they do with center field. They might move Reggie Jackson to center and leave Alou in right. That's a possibility, I think. That's exactly what's going to happen. So Alou would stay in the game and play right field. So let's put Alou in right field and move Reggie Jackson to center. So Alou as a right fielder is a 4+2 E18, running at an 11. And Reggie Jackson moving to center drops to a 3. So he was a 2-5 E11. He's now a 3-5 E11 by moving to center field. So he moves to center. And now we got the pinch hitter Jesus Alou stepping to the plate. All right, Jesus Alou. So Alou to pinch hit, and Bork will be the new first baseman. So Dick Williams trying to do some strategizing, see what he can do. Again, Davalio is being held on. Palmer to Alou. 4-8, and that's a walk. And now the Oriole bullpen starts to loosen. Eddie Watt, a right-hander, and Grant Jackson, a lefty, are both loosening in the bullpen. Ray Fosse is your hitter. 256, not bad. Plus, he's got the home run, so they're not going to pinch hit for him. If they did pinch hit for him, they have to move Tennis to catcher and put somebody else at first base. Actually, Tennis is out of the game, so they can't pinch hit for him. They wouldn't have any catchers left. How about that? Going for offense, sometimes you sacrifice defense. Palmer to Fosse. That's a 2-7 for Fosse, and that's danger. 1-3 is a double. That's an 8. It's a single 2 stars, and we got a tie ball game. And Palmer is now reach fatigue. That's going to move Alou to third base. And now what do you do if you're the Orioles? He has reached fatigue, and Dick Green is your batter. What do you do if you're the Orioles? Do you bring in a relief pitcher, or do you keep with Palmer? Palmer's going so well, but he's starting to show signs of fatigue now. He is fatigued, actually. Good question. Got Dick Green coming to the plate. Boy, Earl Weaver does trust Palmer quite a bit. They're going to leave Palmer in there. He went out and talked to him, and Palmer says, I can get him. So they're looking actually to turn the double play here. They're going to play back for the double play. Dick Green, that's a 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch on Palmer. It's a 1-5. It's 15, he gets blocked. So they're back for the double play to try to get out of the inning. Palmer, 6-7. Ground ball, second base X. The runner on first was not being held, so the second baseman, in this case, Gritch, keeps his 2E5. This could be a double play, but we will need to. The important part is the D20. He's a 2, so to get a G1, you got to have a 10 or higher. And to get it at 16, it is a G1. It will be a double play if there's no error. The error rating is an E5. So the only way he makes an error is on a 16 or an 18. So barring a 16 or an 18, it will be an inning-ending double play. And that's a 14, so he's good to go. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play to get out of the inning. Some managers would have brought the infield in, but this manager played it the way it should have been played for the double play. Minimizes the damage to 1 run. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and I think that's going to be it for Palmer, actually. Palmer's going to go 8 innings, and he's going to give up 2 runs, a total of 3 hits. He walked 1, and he struck out, I believe it was 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Struck out 9. He could win it, or he could get a no decision. And looks like Grant Jackson is going to come in and pitch the 9th inning for the Orioles. Now for the A's, bottom of the 8th we go. Vida Blue is still not tired, so he could keep going. Although he does have a righty-lefty-righty coming up. So what do the A's do? The A's are going to go to the best they have. The A's, where are you? They're going with Raleigh Fingers. Game 1, you don't mess around. They're going with Raleigh Fingers. So Vida Blue goes 7 innings, and he's going to give up 2 runs, which were all earned. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 hits. He walked 1, and he hit a batter, and he struck out, I believe it was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strikeouts for Vida Blue. So Tommy Davis, now the thing is, the Orioles have a whole bunch of lefties on the bench, so if they want to pinch hit for Tommy Davis, but he's a good hitter. He's a 306 hitter. So they're going to leave him in there as DH. So Tommy Davis it is against Vida Blue. I'm sorry, against Raleigh Fingers. So Raleigh Fingers coming in the bottom of the 8th of a 2-2 game. Vida Blue is done. Fingers to Tommy Davis. 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Raleigh Fingers. 1 away. That'll bring up Bumry. Grounded back to Vida Blue is only time up. 1-8, and that is a single. So 1 out single for Bumry. Now the problem is Fingers is a +4 hold rating. Let's see, Fosse's a -3, so that's a +1. So he's a +1, which means if Bumry gets the jump, it would be a 1-16. So he's going to try for the lead. 2 through 6 or an 11. It's a 2. He gets the lead. So it's going to be a 1-16 for Bumry to steal it. And he does. Stolen base for Al Bumry. And that's going to bring up Brooks Robinson. Bumry will be held at second base because he runs very well. And now, Brooks Robinson, 257 hitter. They ain't pinch hitting for Brooks. Raleigh Fingers to Brooks Robinson. 6'9", that's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Campaneris. He's a 2E26. He is not responsible for holding the runner, so he keeps his number 2 rating. He needs a 3 or higher to get to this. 11, so on a 2 and 11 is a G1. That would hold the runner. But it's an E26, so he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. He's already made 1 error. 12, 17, and 18. Got to avoid those, and he did. So it's a 6-3 ground out with Bumry holding. Because that's what the super advanced chart says. On a G1 with a runner at second is to the right side, and you can decide if you don't want to do it, but he's already in scoring position, so why take the risk? Now, Earl Williams is your scheduled hitter, but he is going to be removed from the game And the Orioles are going to their bench with all those left-handers sitting there. And they are looking at Boog Powell. So Boog Powell will pinch hit for Earl Williams. And just like that, Dick Williams says, you're not beating me. It's an intentional walk to Boog Powell. And here's Etchebarren. He's going to be removed for a pinch hitter. Etchebarren will be removed. Let's see who's going to come on to pinch hit. Rich Coggins will pinch hit, and Elrod Hendricks will come in the game to catch for Etchebarren. So Coggins, the pinch hitter, and Hendricks is going to be your new catcher. Runners at first and second with 2 outs, so it's a clutch situation for the pinch hitter Coggins. So it is Coggins. And Powell is the new first baseman. So Powell, not very good, a 5.E19. And the new catcher, Hendricks, is a 4.0E2 with a T rating of 4, right at a 10. All right, so Coggins it is in a clutch situation. Rich Coggins hitting for Etchebarren. First and second, 2 down, bottom of the 8th, tied at 2. Fingers 3-5 against the right-hander. He's going to ground it to second, and they will flip to Campaneris at short to end the inning. And Fingers gets out of the mess. So we go to the 9th with the score tied at 2 apiece. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 left. So we go to the top of the 9th, and now we need the new pitcher for the Orioles. And it will be left-handed tossing Grant Jackson. Grant Jackson, 8-0 with a 1.91 ERA and 9 saves. So Grant Jackson is your new pitcher. He'll be facing the top of the order, Campaneris, Rudy, and Bando. I know they're all right-handed, but you got to go with the best you have if you're Earl Weaver. So Grant Jackson it is here in the top of the 9th. Grant Jackson, let's look, his hold rating is a -5, which is really good. So that's going to really cut down the running game. Hendricks is a 0, so keeps a -5 over there. Leading off will be Bert Campaneris. He is 0 for 3. Those were all against Palmer, though. 5-10, and that is a ballpark single check. Ballpark singles, 1-9 for right-handers is a 13. It's a liner to short. 1 away. Brings up Joe Rudy. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. 4-7, and that is a 1-6 single. That's a 15. He's going to line it to second. And there's quickly 2 away for Sal Bando. He's also 0 for 3. Jackson 2-5. Bando, the lefty, 2-5 is a single. So it's a base hit for Sal Bando, rather. He will not be held. And now here comes Reggie. Lefty on lefty matchup against Grant Jackson. Reggie does have pop against lefties, though. It's a 1-7, but he's going to fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Orioles have a chance to walk it off. And they'll be facing, it'll be Belanger, Retman, and Gritch. Not much left on the Oriole bench. They got Baker and Crowley, and that's it. But neither one of them can play short, so Belanger's going to have to hit. No question about it. He is going to have to hit. So let's get this set up. Raleigh Fingers to Mark Belanger. 6-7, and that is a fly to right field. Reggie Jackson puts it away. 1 down here in the bottom of the 9th. Flips the order over to Merv Retman. Retman had a rough game. He's 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. 3-8, and he's going to walk. So a 1-out walk, and he is the winning run. Now, it is a +1 factor, so if he gets the lead, it would be a 1-18. So he's going to try for the lead. He has to have a 7. That's the only way he gets the lead is a 7. He just missed it, but he will be held, because if you don't hold him, he's got an asterisk there. He's going to get the lead, so they got to hold him. No choice in the matter. And here's Bobby Gritch. Fingers to Gritch. 1-7. 1-5 is a single. That's a 6, though, so it's a line out to third. Bando makes the catch. 2 down for Paul Blair. And Paul Blair is the difference between going to extra innings. Hello, Lucas. Nice to see you. Fingers to Blair. 5-3. Ground ball pitcher X. He's a 4E12. Let's see if Fingers can get to it. He's a 4E12. To get to it, he needs a 5 or higher. 3, it's going to be a base hit, SI1. So SI1 is going to move the runner to second base. We'll check for an error. He's an E12. Got to avoid 3, 6, 12, 15, and 18. That is a 12, so it'll be a single plus an error. As we look here on Raleigh Fingers, he's an E12 as a catcher, and that number there is a 12. E12 and a 12 is an E1, so it's a single plus an error. And that will put the runners, that's the third Oakland error of the game. It's going to put Rettman to third base. So runners are at the corners with 2 outs. And Tommy Davis, your batter. Tommy Davis is your batter. They will not hold Blair at first because his run doesn't mean anything. Well, he's actually at second, my bad. So they got first base open if they want to pitch to Davis, or do they want to pitch to Bumry? Bumry is 2 for 2. I'm sorry, is 1 for 2, and it will be going against the lefty righty, so they're going to have to pitch to Tommy Davis. They got no choice here in the matter, I don't believe. So Fingers pitching to Tommy Davis with 2 outs in a clutch situation. Tommy Davis in the clutch does not. Well, he gets a hit here on 211. He would gain a hit on 211. Whoop! The orange die missed again. How did that happen? Let's try that again. Pregnant pause, folks. My orange die has gone somewhere, and I don't know where it went. Thought it was back here. Instead of a feline delay, we got a dice delay. My bad. Hello, Gerald. How you doing? Oh, there it is. Was hidden. It was hidden behind the table leg. That's why I couldn't see it. It was hidden behind the table leg. So we'll re-roll this again for Tommy Davis, a very important at bat. Fingers 1-8 to Davis. It's a ground ball to short, and that's going to end the inning. We've got free baseball. We will be going to the 10th. So for the Orioles, no runs, a hit, 1 error, and they left 2 on. So we go to the top of the 10th, and it is a 2-2 ball game. Grant Jackson back out, and he'll be facing Darren Johnson, Pat Bork, who's the new first baseman because they pinch ran for tennis, and then Alou. So not the best guys that Oakland would want up there, but that's what they're stuck with. All right. So Grant Jackson, his second inning of work. He has a relief rating of 3, so he's definitely not in trouble as far as fatigue. 4-5 against the right-hander. That's a 1-7 in-home run chance. He does have normal power. That's a 2. Darren Johnson just went deep with the Oakland A's to give them a 3-2 lead. Look at it again. 4-5. That's a 1-7 in-home run chance. He does have normal power against lefties, and that's a 2. So that fits the 1-7, and that is gone. Fix the focus in case it's messed up a little bit. I'll show it again up even closer so you can make sure there's no mistakes here. Grant Jackson against a right-handed hitter, a 4-5 is a 1-7 home run. 1-7 home run on a 4-5, and that is a 2. and he does have normal power. So that is gone. The A's now lead it 3-2. And now Raleigh Fingers looking to close it out in the bottom of the 10th inning. Jackson to Bork, 5-4. 5-4 is a ground ball third base X. That is Mr. Robinson. He's an E16. He's a 1, but you know he's going to get to it with a 1. So E16, he has to avoid 3, 4, 7, 14, 16, and 18. And that's a 13. 13 is an E16. There is no 13, so it's good play for Robinson. Took a tough hop and made the play. 1 down for Jesus Alou. 2-4 against the left-hander. He's going to ground it to Brooks Robinson. A much easier play this time. 2 down for Ray Fosse. .611 against a right-hander. That's a fly ball right field X. That's Retman. He's a 2E8. He has a 2. In order to get to this, he needs a 4 or better. 3, it's not going to be a 4. It's going to be a single. It is going to be a single. A 2 and a 3 is an SI2. So we'll drop in E8. He's got to avoid the high numbers. That's a 14. As an E8, there is no 14. There's a 15, 16, 17, and 18, but no 14. But it is a base hit. It does drop in for Ray Fosse. So 2 down, and here comes Dick Green. Fosse not being held. Dick Green. .511 against a right-hander is a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But it's a big one for the A's. A run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Last chance for the O's. They trail it 3-2. And in case Fingers gets into trouble, they got Pena the righty and Knowles the lefty in the bullpen, just in case. This will be the fatigue inning for Fingers. This is his 3rd inning of work. So got to keep an eye on that as well. It'll be Bumry, Robinson, and Powell due up. Bumry, Robinson, and Powell, your batters against Fingers. 6-7 against a left-hander is a fly to center. That's hauled in out there by Manuel. I'm sorry, by Reggie, actually, because he's in center field now. So there's 1 away, and here's Brooks. 1-7, and it's going to fly to center, and Reggie will put that away. So 2 down. Last chance, and it's Boog Powell. He does have the power. If he can get into one, he could tie this game. 2-6, however, struck him out, and that's the ball game. Raleigh Fingers wins it. He may not be available tomorrow, on the next game rather, because he went 3 innings, so he's probably not going to be available the next game. But the A's don't care. They win game 1 by the score of 3-2. Fingers is going to go 3 innings. He's going to give up 2 hits, no runs. He walked 2. One of them was intentional, and he struck out 2. The loss to Grant Jackson, he went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and a run. That home run by Darren Johnson, the difference. No walks and no strikeouts. So 3 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for Oakland. For Baltimore, 2 runs on 9 hits. And they made no errors, but missed opportunities. Let's see, left on base, not that many. 3 left on base by the Orioles in the... I'm sorry, these are the A's. 3 left on base by the A's. Let's check the Orioles left on base. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11 runners left on base by Baltimore. That's the story right there. Leaving 11 runners on base. And, you know, that can come back to get you. That's a game the A's, I got to feel like they stole that game. When you commit 3 errors, you know... But the 2 solo home runs did it. I mean, they had home runs. The Orioles didn't. So A's didn't need to put in a whole lot together. They just got those 2 home runs. And they came very timely from really not their main guys, Darren Johnson and Ray Fosse. Who would have thought that? So Yeah, we're gonna since he went 3 innings, we're gonna have to rest Raleigh Fingers in game 3. I'm sorry, in game 2. Grant Jackson will be last in the bowl. He went 2 innings, so they may use him again. They probably would use him later as a last resort kind of thing. So that's game 1 for you. Belongs to the A's, 3-2. As they win it, the winning pitcher was Raleigh Fingers. Losing pitcher, not Reggie Jackson. Grant Jackson is the losing pitcher. Player of the game. Boy, who do you give the player of the game to? I'd give it to. I got to give it to Ray Fosse. He was 3 for 4 with a home run. I don't know who else you give it to. He's 3 for 4 with a home run. So to me, player of the game is this guy, Ray Fosse. He gets the player of the game. He was 3 for 4 with the home run. So, and his first home run gave them the lead to start with. So that's who I'm giving it to. All right, next video on the channel will be game 1 of the NLCS, and that will fix the that'll present, if I can get my sayings correct, that will match up the Pirates against the Giants in San Francisco. It'll be Nelson Briles for the Pirates against lefty Ron Bryant for the Giants. And I had to make my own 25-man rosters or 24-man rosters, or whatever you want to call it. Make my own lineups and everything else. But that's going to be the matchup. Game 1 from San Francisco. It'll be the Pirates and the Giants. That'll be the next video on the channel. And then after each one of these teams have played a game in their respective conference championships, then or division championships, what do you want to call it, league championships, then I will go back to 1987 and play the next game in that one. That'll be sometime midweek, probably on a Wednesday. But tomorrow should be the game for the Pirates and the Giants. Not sure the time. Whenever I have time, I guess, is when I would go with that. So I do want to thank everybody who spent part of your Saturday morning / now afternoon with me. I know college football is coming up for a lot of people to watch. I know tonight is going to be a great game with Alabama and Georgia. Last night, interesting game in Miami, Virginia Tech and the Hurricanes. I don't think the ending was controversial at all. I don't believe that was a catch. I'm not sure why they called it a catch on the field to begin with. But I think even though there wasn't disputable evidence to overturn it, I think they got the call right in the end. Hello, DJ. And I'm a Virginia Tech fan, but Tech lost that game because of their coaching. So coach cost them 6 points, and that cost them the game just from bad coaching decisions that they made. The kicking the field goal at the end of the half, calling a timeout with 25 seconds left and leaving time on the clock for Miami, and then squib kicking instead of kicking it out of the end zone allows Miami to throw a couple passes. I believe it was a pass interference and one completion that got them down for a field goal. That was 3 points they gave away. And then not kicking the field goal and trying that fake, that cost them another 3 points. So to me, the coaching cost them that game. So felt bad for them because they played their hearts out. Both teams did, really. But I know it was a war of attrition down there because of all the humidity and everything. But I just think the coaches cost them the game. And hello, Rodolfo, how you doing? And I've never said this before, but I think I got to say it now. I think Brent Pry's got to go. He just can't manage the game. There's a reason why he's 1-10 in one-score games, because he can't manage the game. He might be a really good recruiter. He might be a good defensive coordinator, but I think head coaching is probably a little above his skis, in my opinion. But that's just me. I don't know if there's a conspiracy to make sure Miami won that game so they can keep their playoff hopes alive. I don't know. I'm not in, don't know about all that. I thought DeQuan Felton made the catch. I thought he caught it and came down. And as he was sitting there, they stripped the ball out of his hands. So maybe he didn't hold it long enough to complete the catch. I don't know. He certainly went up and got his hands on it. He was taller than everybody else. In normal circumstances, there was not enough video evidence to overturn it, but initially looking at it, I didn't think it was a catch to begin with. I didn't think he held it long enough, but it should never come down to that. Virginia Tech should have won that game outright without even getting to that point, but bad coaching really, really was the tale. And of course, Cam Ward is exceptional. That guy is something else. He's Houdini. They had him sacked. A couple guys had a shot at him, and he shuffles it off, and the guy runs almost for a touchdown. So, you know, he's definitely on the Heisman watch, no question about that. He did throw a couple of picks. One of them really wasn't his fault. That was a tip ball, but the little swing pass near the end zone, he definitely didn't see the safety switch over, and he thought he had a wheel route that was wide open. But you know, you're going to make those mistakes. But he certainly did. I believe he might have been their leading rusher too. I mean, he had a lot of yards rushing when he broke contain. So he certainly did it. Unfortunately, the Miami does not play Clemson in the regular season. Would be a matchup I'd want to see, but that's probably going to be your ACC championship game most likely, unless something really weird, comes about. But anyway, that's it. This is baseball, not college football. It's kind of a little soapbox there. But when you're a fan of a team and you see them struggling like that, and you see coaches making dumb decisions, kind of gets you in your craw a little bit. But anyway, that's just the way it is. So again, A's win it 3-2 in 10 innings. Winning pitcher Raleigh Fingers, losing pitcher Grant Jackson. Game 2 starters. I had to look it up. It's the exact lineup. It's as played lineups. So I would have to look real quick at who the starting pitchers are in Game 2. Obviously, it's either Cuellar or McNally against Jim Hunter, I would imagine. Although it could be Holtzman. You never know. Both teams have like 3 really good pitchers. So, you never know who the starters are going to be. And some reason my computer does not want to bring it up here. Don't know why. It's really acting slowly here. It's really weird why it's doing that. Let's see if I can go it this way. Maybe this will help. Here we go. All right. Let's see something here. I don't know if I can get to that or not. Let's try it this way. Should have had this handy, but I didn't think about it. All right, here we go. Postseason, 1973. Game number 2. It is Hunter against McNally in Game 2. And then Game 3 will shift to Oakland, where it will be... Whoops, that's Game 4. I don't want Game 4. I want a Game 3. It'll be Holtzman and Cuellar in Game 3. So that's pretty standard. That's what it's going to be going forward as played. Now, of course, the Pirates and Giants, there is no as played, so I'm just doing the best I can with that. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Hope your team wins in college football if you have a team. Of course, regular season in baseball is winding down as well. How about those Chicago White Sox setting the record, 121 losses? So anybody wants to do a Chicago White Sox 2024 replay next year, have at it. But sound like something Dave Gardner would do because he likes those bad teams, but you never know. All right, I got to go down and check on Tabby and see if she's still grouchy or, see if she's gotten over her displeasure of her medicine that she got this morning and was grumpy the rest of the time. So, plus I got some honeydew stuff I need to get done. But hopefully tomorrow it'll be Game 1, Giants and the Pirates from San Francisco. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.